Recycled characters one more time. You see the basketball player here. That is David Benoit, former professional basketball player in the small forward position. During his career, he played 8 years in the NBA, 6 as a member of the Utah Jazz. I remember him kind of like as a good dunker. I definitely remember his name, and you could see the image there of him dunking the basketball. But his name is Benoit, okay? And when we think of the name Benoit, right, we think of the crippler Chris Benoit and how his character in the story ended in tragedy, right, with his family. And if you're any kind of wrestling fan, I'm sure you heard of that, right? But taking out his family and taking out himself as far as the story. But you see Chris Benoit, the crippler, David Benoit. Now, when I hear the name, I'm like, okay, now let me look into that. And look at Chris Benoit right here, how he's born on the 21st of May. You see it right there? May 21st. And David Benoit has that 21 on his jersey right there for the Utah Jazz. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, speaking of Jazz, this is also David Benoit. And David Benoit is a jazz pianist. So you have a jazz pianist, David Benoit. What are the odds you're going to end up with a David Benoit who plays for the Utah Jazz in the NBA? And then he's got the 21 on his jersey. And Chris Benoit is born on the 21st of May. You want to see David Benoit's birthday, the basketball player? Look at that. May 9th, 12 days before Chris Benoit's birthday. See that right there? Isn't that amazing? So David Benoit, one more time, 21 on his jersey. You see right there. Chris Benoit, born on the 21st. They're born in the same month. Benoit's birthday is 12 days before the crippler Chris Benoit. And you flip that 12 and you get that 21 again, as Benoit is born on the 21st. And again, David Benoit with that 21 on his jersey. Isn't that amazing? And you see David Benoit again right here, jazz pianist. And then you have the 21 again there with the Utah Jazz, David Benoit. I mean, absolutely amazing. Characters recycled here. I noticed this in my real life too. Things that be happening. I think we're all under a code. And I think this is what the big secret is. They like to let a lot of truths come out. And I think they're like cover-ups to something that they truly don't want people to know. Yeah, we hear about the Matrix, blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's it, right? But let me say what I got to say. I think the celebrities in that they want them to distract. So knowing that the celebrities are fake and their characters playing roles, like we're characters playing roles as well, that doesn't mean we're fake, but everything's put in front of us for a reason. And I think it's with like our name and our history, because it keeps the pattern repeating. It keeps us like synchronized with things around us, the algorithm, what we speak, what we type on our phone. Uh, what is the saying? Like the past creates the future, and the future is because of the past, blah, 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 whatever the saying is, but the stuff in the pattern just repeats. So, and I think if you have like the same last names, you may not hear news about the characters being related, but I think that the system has a way of putting things in front of you. Like you could probably go deeper. Look at these guys got the same name. Okay, so maybe David Benoit ended up on the Jazz because there's a David Benoit who was a jazz pianist. Now, the basketball player David Benoit may not know that. You know what I'm saying? He may know that the stuff is scripted and fake in the world stage, but he may not know he ended up on the Jazz. I'm going to say he probably doesn't know about the jazz pianist with the same name. Again, that's just my opinion. He may know the league's scripted. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that he knows those deep details. And I think that that's what the big secret is. And again, that's just my opinion. And you got professional wrestler again here, Chris Benoit. And the deeper you go on this, you could probably find more stuff as well out of Canada. Right here, I've covered his death before, and his death connected to the Hart family. I did a couple of separate videos on that. So yeah, I just wanted to spend a few minutes to show you once again this script and pro wrestling. Pro wrestling kind of lets us know that, right? I mean, the world it's like pro wrestling. Get in where you fit in, right? So, David Benoit, basketball player for the Jazz, most of his career. Jazz pianist David Benoit, right there. And remember the basketball player's birthday 12 days before Chris Benoit. Don't forget that. And Benoit born on the 21st. David Benoit with the 21 on his jersey. So yeah, Chris Benoit and the two David Benoits. And that's all I have for this edition. Until next time.